Okay, welcome to Tech Tip Tuesday. I'm Heather Gravely. For those of you who don't know me, since we've got some other teams on here that we don't normally have, and we are going to do a quick little technology-based tip to help your business. These are going to be things like different systems that you can use, new things like Table, stuff like that that will help your business. And how to use them for, to make things easier every day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Project Broadcast this morning. Originally, I was going to talk about integrating some Table into your parties, but Table is not working today. So we're going to do that probably next week when they come out with the new Table experience. So that's going to be exciting. So just something to look forward to. What I wanted to go over with Project Broadcast. So I was asking how many of you use Project Broadcast, and several of you do, but don't use it religiously, don't use it for everything. Nikki, where are you with Project Broadcast? Are you using it yet? No? Okay. I've been using it, and I also use it in combination with an app called Connection Point, or DSAM. I think it used to be called DSAM, but they kind of switched the name of it. And what the biggest thing that other app does is it makes it where I don't have to manually input or upload my contacts into Project Broadcast as they place orders. So what it does is it will take the email that I get from an order, from somebody placing an order. We all get those emails. It looks at that email, pulls out the information that you need from it, the customer's name, even pulls out like the details about the order and the order date, the party name, the host name, and it plops it into basically a database, and it talks to Project Broadcast. And it's really cool. So if you wind up using Project Broadcast a lot for all of your orders and customer care and things like that, DSAM or Connection Point is something to look into, and I can do a training on that another time. But I did want to mention that because just to know that it's there is really good, because when I started using Project Broadcast to manually input every customer as they place an order, I was like, no, that's just not okay. So that other system was developed by the husband of a direct sales consultant. And I think they like 31 or Norwex. It was somebody with Norwex, and she was like, you've got to do something about this. And so he did. And so now he's probably making lots of money off of people like us. But it's really awesome. And it also, when we get going with Table, it works with Table too. And so every time somebody joins a Table party, it puts it into our Project Broadcast. So it's fantastic. So really, if we're going to start using Table at all, we want to do that. So what I wanted to talk about is what I do when I get orders. I actually use DSAM, but you can just do this in Project Broadcast also. I do all of my customer care in Project Broadcast. And what that does for my business is it creates a connection with the customers that I didn't have before. I was not doing my 2-2-2-6. I like to put in the 6 because I just didn't have time in my business. And so that was one thing that was suffering in the triage that I call my business. So what this does is it does something that I couldn't get to. It's almost like hiring an assistant to do your customer care. It's the same thing. It's automated. And so, they say, like, if you're too busy, you look at all of your tasks and see what you can delegate, what you can automate. This is automating. Okay. The other thing that I love to do with these, what they call campaigns, and if you haven't touched Project Broadcast at all, you will want to go in and do some trainings. Their training videos are fantastic. I learned Project Broadcast by watching the videos that they have. So definitely I recommend watching those, especially on campaigns. And also keywords is the other one that you can go look at. And I'm not going to get into keywords at all today. But what I love to do is I love to do my booking asks when they place an order through Project Broadcast, because there's a really neat feature that I'm going to show you that it does the follow-up for you also. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Maybe. Okay, can you all see? All right, project broadcast. And like I said, I got to move this out of the way. Okay. Project broadcast has changed its whole look, so it looks completely different. But the two things that I wanted to show you are what I do for my customer care. Now, remember, I do start it in Connection Point, and that actually sends out my first message. So I don't use Project Broadcast for my very first message, but it looks the same. So I'm going to find my campaign. These are your campaigns. And again, if you're brand new, you will want to go in and do some more training, because this is just like quick tips. Okay, customer care, new customers. So sorry, I got to move our faces out of the way. Okay. I'd like to see us a little bit. All right. Yeah. Okay. So basically what I like to do for customer care and new customers is I do a drip campaign. And what that means is from the time they join the campaign, you set the messages to send out to them based on a time after they join the campaign. Okay. So there's things like time, there's all sorts of different types of campaigns, but that's what I like to use for this. So that if they order on Tuesday and I want the first customer care message, well, really the 2-week follow-up to go out after, or I have 1 week on here, but it's really like 2 weeks. If I want the 2-week follow-up to go out like a week or two after that, it's based on when they join that campaign, when I drop them into the campaign. Does that make sense? So so this customer, if I drop somebody in, the first one goes out and it says, "Hi, thanks for ordering. Can I send you an e-cookbook?" And again, these messages I've updated because this isn't really the one that I use right now. I use the one that starts off in DSAM. So it says, "Hi, can I send you?" And then 7 days later, the second one goes out. 2 months later, this next one goes out, and 6 months later, this next one goes out. The cool thing about that is I don't have to touch it. Okay. These are going out. The customer stays in this campaign through that entire 6-month process. And actually, I'll show you the one that I start off with DSAM. So with DSAM, it's, let's see, customer care, DSAM. Okay, so I've skipped the first message. So this one starts off, it sends a text in DSAM and drops them into this, and it says it starts off with 2-week customer care. And I'll just show you what they say really fast because it is really cool. At 2 weeks, it sends out, "Hi, it's me again. I want to check in and make sure you received your order. Try to get your products out to ensure that everything is correct and not damaged in shipping. You have 30 days to return for any reason, blah, blah, blah. Do you need any recipes for your items or anything you own?" Okay, so that goes out like 2 weeks after I first make contact. That first contact is, "Hey, my name is Heather," or "Hey, it's Heather from Pampered Chef." And it has a picture of me saying, "Thank you for supporting my small business." That's the one that goes out in DSAM. And it says, "Just let me know if you need anything," basically. Okay. And that sends out 2 weeks later.
Can I ask you a quick question before I forget?
Yeah.
How are you dealing with the double opt-in stuff?
Oh, I'll talk about that after. How about that?
Okay, thank you. Keep going.
Short answer, I'm not, but you didn't hear that from me.
Hey, Alice. I'm just saying hi to Alice.
Sorry, I'm sharing my screen so I can't see who's on here. So hi.
That's okay. I saw her come on.
So this next message goes out at 2 months, and it says, "It's been a couple months since you ordered, and I'm just reaching out to see if your products are out of the box and happy in your kitchen. Did you know you can go to my website and type in a product name and click on recipes? I want to be a resource. I keep my info." And so this is not asking for a booking. None of these messages are asking for a booking. It's just reaching out. That is what true customer care looks like. And then here's a cool one at 6 months. It goes out, and I really actually want to add one in there at 11 months. And it just says, "Hi, this is Heather from Pampered Chef. It's been a while. Any issues with your products? Let me know if I can be a help. FYI," so this is at 6 months, so a new catalog would have come out since they last ordered. "FYI, we've come out with some new products and recipes, of course. that you may not have seen. Would you like the link to our new virtual catalog? And so once I say, if they say yes to that, after I send that, that opens up the conversation for a booking after that. Okay. When they place their order, like I said, I drop them in, I send out the message over on Connection Point, but it works the same if you just do it automatic first message in Project Broadcast. It drops them into here. Here's the cool thing. At the same time that I drop them into this, I drop them into a second campaign. So a totally separate campaign that's my booking ask. Okay. So what this does is it's sending them a message right when I, right when I say it, right when I go through this process. It says, hey, thanks for your order. And then it says, okay, 2 weeks later, 2 months later, 6 months later, I'm going to check in with you. But then I add them to a second one that is, let me find it, booking. Okay, and this is my booking message immediately after the thank you. And I do change this up every month, just with the monthly special. And what this does is it drops them into this also. And the very first message with the booking ask goes out 4 minutes after they're dropped in. So in other words, they're going to get that customer care message saying, hey, thanks for your order. And then it says, oh, and I wanted to mention one more thing. This is the host, the field where I have the host name. Host needs just one more friend to book a party and she'll get an awesome extra reward and you'll get an extra gift too. Online parties, blah, blah, blah. Can I send over the info for you to take a look at? And so it's not saying, do you want to book it? It's saying, can I send you the info to take a look at it? And so this goes out 4 minutes later. Okay. So now they're in this second campaign. The next message in the campaign, it goes out 2 days later. And it says, hey, it's me again. Just wanted to check back in. I know how I am about missing messages when I get busy. Do you want to host a party? Oops, I have to change that. I forgot to put that out. And then I say, I will give you a choice of either brownie pan or a new cup slicer when your party closes. What do you think? So that goes out 2 days later. And then 2 days after that, so 96 hours, however many days, what is that? 5 days later, right? 5 days after they were dropped into this campaign, they get a third follow-up message saying, just want to follow up one last time. Although I'd love, just let me know either way. Although I don't want to bother you and I'm fine with hearing a no, although I'd love a yes, thank you. The big thing about this second campaign is back here on the very first part of this part right here where it says remove contact on reply. If they reply back if they start a chat back and they reply back, it takes them out of this campaign. So they're not going to get the follow-up if they've already replied to me. Does that make sense? So if they say no, if they wrote back and said, no, I'm not interested, I use my text replacement. I automatically send them oh, well, is it a now, not ever. And they're taken out of this campaign. They're left in. That is not the case with the customer care campaign, because even if they write back, I still want to check in with them and see how that box is not checked here. So if they write back to this, or if they write back, they're still in this. Obviously, if they say, take me out, take me off your list, I'll, remove them. But that's the difference. That's why I use 2 separate campaigns, because I found, and the way that I do, because that's why I do it that way. Drop them into the customer care first, and then that also adds them to a second campaign, because if they write back to me and say, oh, I can't host a party, I don't want to send them any more messages about booking a party, but I do want to continue sending them messages about customer care. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? I know I went through it pretty fast, and I can share those couple with you. I can send you the words that I use and everything like that, if anybody's interested in that.
Heather, this is so fantastic. I love it. I love the way you divided the campaigns. It all makes perfect sense to me, and I just need to get this set up. I love it.
Thank you. You know, it took a lot of flow charts. I'm a flow chart girl.
No,
you
not
just-
me.
You saved us a bunch of time by sharing all this. So smart.
Oh, yay, thank
Love
you.
it.
Yeah, and I tried different, you know, when I did something with DSAM where I was dropping them into the booking ask first, or I don't know, it was really messing it up. It wasn't taking them out of the campaign. This is the best way to do it because yeah, it was weird how it was doing it. Even if they
So-
wrote back to that first message, it was weird. So, but I got it figured out.
So if I understand you right, you put them in the customer care campaign first, so that gets started. Once the first, do you automatically put them into the booking one too then, or do you wait until that first message goes? Well, no, because you do it within days.
So what I do, you know, if you are not using Connection Point, what you would want to do is add the person's name and add the contact information. And right from there, you can add them to campaigns. And so you would
Yeah.
want to add them to both campaigns right at the same time. And that's basically what Connection Point is doing for me. It adds the contact to Project Broadcast for me and sends out that first text. So I don't have to send that from
Mhm.
Project Broadcast. I send it from DSAM. But what it does for me is it drops them into both campaigns at the same time.
Mhm.
So that's how I had it set up. I actually contacted him because I was like, look, I really want to be able to add to 2 different campaigns at the same time. And he added that in there,
Okay.
to be able to add to multiple at the same time.
Now you said DSAM, so
Oh,
is
sorry,
that,
Connection Point. I'm sorry, Connection Point.
okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the same thing. I don't know why it had the 2 names, but now it's called Connection Point.
okay. Yeah, I've been looking into that and trying to decide if it's worth getting that or not. And
If
Yeah.
you're going to use Project Broadcast for something like this, I would say absolutely think of how much time, if you're going to use it for every party and every contact, think of how much time it would take you to input those contacts and how many hours that might take you for every contact and setting them up. And it would take an assistant, you know, the amount that it costs would be like less than 1 hour of an
Yeah.
assistant.
so here's a question for you. Can you pick it? Does it automatically do every order that comes in, including like online referrals? Or how do you set it to get what you need?
For DSAM,
Mhm.
yeah, and I'll do a separate training on DSAM, but basically you go in and you manually push them through, but they're there for you. You literally like click a box. You can
Okay.
you can customize it if you want, and there's all these settings that you can do with it. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's really nifty.
You just
I
don't have to type everything in.
Yes, that's true. Yes. And I want to see how it's going to work with the new table. There's a couple updates I have to do with it for the new table, so I want to do that too. But yeah, it's really neat. When people join table, it'll send out a message automatically. When you have a new team member, it will send them a message automatically welcoming them. If you just have to set it up.
Okay, that's cool.
All right.
Cool.
Any other questions about any of that? I know I ran through it pretty quick, but it's more of like the overview of what it can do for your business. I'm trying to think if there's anything else related to that. I've noticed a huge, I do use Project Broadcast. I don't do my booking asks, my like ongoing booking asks through Project Broadcast because I feel like it's a little invasive to keep texting somebody. That first time when they're in a party, it's a little different, but I'm not going to keep doing it. The one thing I do use Project Broadcast for is if there's something special going on, if I'm doing a shared rewards party, if there's some big sale that's about to happen or, something big. And like right now I'm running a fundraiser for, that's pretty personal to me. A past host of mine had her son pass away. And so we're doing a fentanyl poisoning, fundraiser for her new foundation. And so I'm taking that on sort of as my baby. So I'm going to send out a message about that fundraiser to my whole contact base. So things like that are big.
So yeah, going back to the double opt-in, how do you, I'm so confused about the whole double opt-in.
Yeah,
Some people say, oh, you've got to follow the line. And then other people are like, "Nah, you just do this, this, and this." And I'm like,
No,
okay.
they shut down my project broadcast last week. Well, sort of shut it down. Kind of gave me a warning that I had to do something, like register my
Yes.
number.
That was new.
So I'm not sure how that works with the double opt-in. If that takes the place of the double opt-in, I'm not doing the double opt-in. I was like la 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 to that because I couldn't. It was at a time that I couldn't handle it. So
Uh-huh.
I just
Can
you
I
know.
share what I have learned
Yes, please.
about the double opt-in?
Yes.
So I listened to, and I don't even know if I could find it anymore. Well, no, I bet I could. Okay, so when you have project broadcast, you get that prompt saying you need to register for whatever it is.
Mhm.
It does not take the place of the double opt-in. But during the little explanation video that I watched, it was a female voice. I actually watched two videos. One was a male, one was a female. And the female made reference to she said something to the effect of there's one network marketing company that has advised their consultants to do the double opt-in. So I'm sure she was referring to Pampered Chef.
We know who that is.
So she made it sound like it's more of a Pampered Chef thing than it is a project broadcast thing, which I found to be very interesting.
Yeah.
So when I
think-
was doing the registration, I checked the box that I do. It might have said custom. I can't remember what it was. But I did not click the double opt-in because it makes you put in like your wording for the double opt-in. I never did it. It was over a year ago, I think, that the Pampered Chef was like, you have to do this. And at the time, like you, Heather, I was just like, I can't handle this right now. And I just never handled it. So I think it's totally separate. They just want to know what you're doing to give people the option to opt out. So I usually put the little message at the bottom, like if you
Mhm.
want to be removed from my list,
Just
then stop or whatever
yeah.
word you want. So I thought it was really interesting that it made it sound like it was more of a Pampered Chef rule than a, yeah.
Well,
Because
and
I
that
also-
makes sense because like I've been getting texts from, I ordered something from Pink Zebra years ago. Okay, years. And all of a sudden I started getting these random texts and I'm like, excuse me? I never signed up for this.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, obviously this is not something that is broadly put out there
Well,
that you
okay,
have
can
to
I-
have the double opt-in.
So I think that what they're doing with the double opt-in from Pampered Chef's perspective is they're trying to sort of, I guess, not circumvent, but like anticipate what might come in the future. So that if the, communication, it's not the FCC, whatever it is that governs that, if they come back and say, okay, you guys are shut down if you don't have this, then
Mhm.
we're not left scrambling. So I do think it's more of an anticipation, like anticipatory type of thing that they're trying to like think about, okay, what could be coming and how it could affect our business. We should do this to safeguard us so that
Mhm.
we're not in trouble or we're not fined if they come back around and do this thing. Or if
Yeah.
maybe there's already something out there and they're not enforcing it, but if they start enforcing it to keep us from getting in trouble down the line, to do it now
Mhm.
instead and get it all set up, before it even becomes an issue. Does that make sense?
I
So I
guess, like I turned my double opt-in off. I had it on and then I turned it off because it was really frustrating. Somebody wouldn't opt in, but they would text me a question
yeah.
and I couldn't respond unless I put that opt-in message in the bottom of it. I'm like, okay, this is going to get really annoying
Yeah.
to my customers if every response I send has that in it.
Mhm.
So I took it off, and I've been trying to figure out a way, how could I, just kind of keep putting that in randomly, like, hey, I'd love to, can you fill out this information for me? Click
Mhm.
here. Because all it does is fill out their name and that's it.
Yeah. Well, how about this? How about we look into that and we'll do a separate training on that? Is
I
that
think it'd be a good idea. Even
because
just
yeah.
because I do think one thing I have learned about Pampered Chef is they don't arbitrarily throw things at us
Right.
just to make us work harder. They
Mhm.
don't. And I appreciate them trying to protect us.
Right.
And the one thing I do know is I have been getting annoyed with the texts I have been getting from random people, just random. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
and that's
"No,
why I
hang
don't use
on."
it. That's why I don't use Project
Mhm.
Broadcast as much as I may have before, because it does, now that more people are using it, I do feel like it's more invasive. And so I use
It's-
Messenger more often, unless I don't have them on Messenger, and then I'll, use text.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop the recording here if that's
Yeah.
all right. Does anybody else have anything about that they want?
No, I'm good.
All right.